Yo, it's Kato. Different type of video today. I'm gonna be talking about NBA 2K, right? So this is real different for me. I'm usually used to making the gaming videos or whatever, but I gotta get this off my chest. Let me start by saying this about NBA 2K, right? We all love the game. I've been playing the game. I owned it since 2K14. I own the game. I've been playing the game since I think my first 2K I played was 2K8. This year, I don't know. With all the information or whatever, I've really been thinking it over. I think this might be the end of 2K, bro. Or are we getting close to or we're gonna lose a lot of players. And here's why. So you remember back in NBA 2K16, 15, 17, all those games, people hail them as like, oh, those are the best 2Ks. 15 being in third place most of the time, but 17 and 16 is always like people like, oh, is that, it's battling for first or whatever. But with 24, it's like, I don't know. It seemed like everything after, I don't want to say after 17, but it kind of feel like that. Everything after 17, we've been kind of losing. I don't know. Let me kind of word this differently then. The way I feel about 2K right now is it's in a very gray area to me. I enjoy playing the game as much as the next guy, but they from weird business practices to weird moves, I just don't know. Look at it, right? Fortnite just did their little OG Battle Royale thing. They had a ton of players. I think they peaked at around 5 or 6 million players playing online at the same time. And I'm not one to say, oh, it's gonna be the death of 2K, but it will affect the game. It will definitely affect the game. There's always gonna be somebody playing the game. Like any YouTubers that decide, oh, I want to leave, or anybody that decides they're gonna get off the game. It's always gonna be somebody replacing them. You can be replaced. Don't get me wrong. In terms of like your position in the community, yeah, people can get replaced all the time. But my thing is, Fortnite just did that. Modern Warfare 3, as much as I don't like COD right now, Modern Warfare 3 is about to come out real soon. And then you got Spider-Man 2 that dropped. You just got a ton of games, a ton of upcoming games. Like I think the finals is one of, and then a game I'm looking forward to, X Defiant, is going to come to console. It's a lot of competition and a lot of games that can draw players away. Now, when talking about 2K, the only competitor that could completely ruin that game or make it quote unquote dead would be NBA Live. But unless, except for that like blog post where they was talking about, oh, we need people to work on this, you don't really know. I don't know what they doing with that. Nobody really know. So that's why I'll be saying, 2K ain't really gonna die. People are always gonna still be playing the game. But come 2K25, I think they're really gonna be in trouble. Now I've already mentioned that Fortnite and COD and all these other games are great and they're coming out and they've already taken away a lot of players, quote unquote. People kind of like to paint that image. There's still a lot of people playing 2K, but a lot of people have moved on or are ready to move on at this point. So now you got to think, right? 2K25, for anybody that plays 2K or knows their release cycle, it's going to be coming out in September of next year? Thinking about it like this, if we have the same issues at launch in 24 as we did on 25, and I mean these shooting issues, which to me, shooting is like basketball 101, and the fact that it's messed up to the point where they keep making changes, the fact that they keep making as many changes as they have to shooting is ridiculous to me. Like every time you get on the game, it's something different. And maybe, on one side it's latency and I can get that, but like I got some of the best internet this side of Chicago. I don't be lagging. I haven't lagged out of games in years. One day you'll get on the game, you shooting perfectly fine. The next time you get on the game, you shooting 0 for 11. You can't hit a shot to save your life. Whether you playing rec, park, pro-am, it's always a different timing. It's something different. As you can tell already, this video has no direction. So, but it's always something different. And I want to blame it on latency, but on the other end, it's like, I haven't bought boost or anything like that neither. I do buy boost, but I didn't experiment what I didn't buy boost. And the shooting got harder every single time I played. Like every other game, it got harder and harder and harder to the point where I'm like, maybe they just want me to buy boost. Maybe that's my only observation. That's my observation. I don't know what y'all are going through, but to me, it seems like the game is forcing you to want to buy this stuff, because I'm sitting here shooting 7 for 7, lights out. The next game, I start missing a little bit, and it's like whatever. But like 3 or 4 games in, now I'm bricking consistently. And mind you, I've purposely not bought jump shot boost just to see that. I mainly play lock. So, you know, from shooting from the corner, it should be fine. You know, and then every now and then I'll switch to be the main point guard or whatever. I have a build that can do that. My two-way playmaker, you know, if you haven't seen it, go see it, defensive minutes. But for the most part, I'm playing corner. Always shooting from the corner and then, you know, playing on-ball defense at that point. But, like, it shouldn't be difficult for me to hit a corner shot or be inconsistent from the corner. But that's how it is sometimes. And I want to blame it on latency. Sometimes I blame it on myself, but I really feel like it's the game. Main issue here, because I'm kind of ranting. The main issue, 2K has a ton of problems, rudimentary problems, like real simple problems that could be fixed. They're having these problems at launch, around launch, and it's like, it's ridiculous. I'm not gonna keep putting up with it because it's like, while NBA 2K16 and I don't know why I keep saying it like that. While NBA 2K15 and 16 and 17 had their own issues, it wasn't issues like these, you know, where it's like, man, I can't even like we had the Paul George screen, you know, the demigod glitches and all that, but the games were fun to play. Every time I get on this game, it's like I have fun for 2 games, and then it's like, man, now I'm just like, I'm stressed out. We could be winning games, and I'm just like, I'm either bored or just angry at my performance in the game. So it's like, I don't know at this point. And I know the reason why shooting is the way it is because of all the cheaters. And I haven't said this before in a video, but I've always been talking about it. I don't know why they don't have any type of device anti-cheat in the game. Now, Mike Wang has said he has a system where if you time the jump shot, where if you're using a modded controller, you can't shoot consistently because there's a system in there that prevents you from hitting the shots. And I kind of thought to myself, well, if the Zens are supposed to replicate you shooting the ball 100% perfectly all the time, right? If you have full stamina, and there's a system in the game where even at full stamina, using a Zen, you can still miss the shot. That leads me to believe that while he said there's no RNG in the game, there might be some type of RNG based system, which goes back to, you know, when I watch Pro-Am players play, and I watch even pro players play the game, and, you know, you see the box scores in Pro-Am is like 20, 30, 40 points. Compared to last year, you get like hundreds. You know, people be ending the games almost at 100 points or past that. Now it's like 20, 30, 40 points. To me, it feels like for a lot of those pro players, and, you know, good defense is being played too, but for a lot of these higher level players, to me, it feels like maybe that system that's supposed to be targeting the Zens is also targeting the other players. Now, I don't know how the system works. I would just say get an anti-cheat. These people plug in the things, you know, give them a warning and say, hey, look, you plug this in again or try to use it, we'll ban you, you know. But then again, I don't want to say ban because then people could potentially have, you know, like pro controllers and all that, and they plug those into their consoles and get banned. So I mean, maybe if they plug in the Zen, it's like they character can't move. I don't know how they don't have a system in the game to read that, because if they did, they wouldn't have to do the shot timings. It's not a lot of people that cheat on the game. I've ran into a lot of cheaters, but it's not a lot of people that cheat. And to me, it's gotten to the point where it's like, why not just put an anti-cheat in the game? Because people won't take, the only reason people are cheating right now is because it's so easy. All you do is you go to Amazon or wherever, you buy a Zen, plug it up to the console, and boom, you good to go. You ain't got to do much else. You know, you get your script or whatever from your computer, you download it or whatever, and then you just start playing the game. And if I'm wrong about that, I don't cheat. So I don't know how that works. But it's a literal plug and play. With a lot of other games, when it comes to cheating, you got to get these different clients, and then you got to be able to make sure that they're hideable. You got to pay and do all this other crazy stuff. With this, all you got to do, plug it into the console and play. So if you add an anti-cheat in there, something that the devices, where it picks up the devices and prevents the users from using it, you wouldn't have to put 15,000 shot timings in the game. We can go back to voice crack. You wouldn't have to put 15,000 different shot timers in the game. We can go back to how I was in 2K20, where if you had a lower stamina, or if you were further back, the further back you were from the free throw line, the further back you were, whoa. The further behind the three-point line you were, the faster your jump shot would be, if I'm not mistaken. We could go back to that. We wouldn't have to have early, late, and set point, and push, and release, and jump. Very late, very early. We wouldn't have to have all these different shot timings, all these different release cues. The release cues are cool, but it's like we wouldn't need them. You know, I would love to release my jump shot the same way every single time when I'm taking a wide open shot, but it always changes. We're having issues like that this early in the game. I don't know what it's gonna look like later. I can't tell the future. But when 2K25 comes out, if we have similar problems, bro, I don't know, man. Because we got all these heavy hitters now, and there's a lot of good games coming out soon. If they don't figure this out by March, I don't know. March of 2025. If you know what March of 2025 is, then you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know, GTA 6 is supposed to release in March. As much as you don't like Rockstar and how they kind of appeal to the kids and they added all these futuristic weapons and try hard this and all that, as much as you hate them, they know how to grab the attention of anybody, and they will break records, bro. That's what I believe. That game will break records. People have been waiting impatiently for more. Actually, no, people have been waiting impatiently for a decade. And at that point, when the game comes out, more than a decade. So at this point, it's like, man, they don't figure it out by March. It's gonna take a lot of players off that game, you know. And if for the people that don't really play GTA, which, you know, if you old enough, because I can't say nothing about kids, because I mean, I was raised not to have GTA when I was younger, but you know, we find our loopholes. But you know, for anybody that hasn't played GTA or played it a lot, GTA is an investment. And I don't mean by only money. I haven't spent any money on the game. I got it from just doing heist. But that's the thing, is that it's a time investment. It takes a lot of time to get a lot of good stuff in that game, and it is fun the first time you do it. The second time, not so much. I've had to do it 3 times now. But the first time you get everything, the first time you do heists and missions, it's really fun and it's really addicting. If GTA 6 can do what GTA 5 did in terms of missions and how fun it is, 2K is gonna be in trouble. Now, it won't die, like I said. People will always go back to play 2K because people just like basketball. I like basketball. I might play 2K25. I don't know if I'll pay full price for it. I might wait till Black Friday or something. But people will always play that game. The only way I can see that game really taking a hit is if NBA Live comes out and that game is great. Like, it appeals to the people that want an arcade like 2K and also a simulation based basketball game. I said 2K. An arcade like basketball game and a simulation based basketball game. If they can hit both audiences at the same time and do it well, and EA definitely has the resources to do that. If they can figure out how to do that, that's the only way I can see 2K losing all of its audience. But I don't know. I feel like with getting a good 2K, we're fighting a losing battle at this point. This game has the potential. The game just came out, so it ain't like, oh, end of the world. But it's like, to me, I hold games to a higher standard. I mean, back then when you played video games, and I've been paying attention to the fact that when you played older games, there was no such thing as a day one patch or, oh, you could patch this out. When you played a game, whatever you bought, whatever came in that case, whatever was written on that disc was just there. There was no patch. If the game was broken, it was just broken. And that was it. I feel like nowadays, and this is what all developers, they kind of rely on the fact that they can release a broken product and then patch everything out. They just want to hit the quota for sales, and then once they're there, then we can worry about, you know, okay, what do the consumers want? You know, now 2K is a publicly traded company, if I'm not mistaken. I could be way wrong on this, but if I'm not mistaken, you know, yeah, they could be a publicly traded company. That means they have to be very investor friendly. Now, I'm talking way out of my area for this, but if I'm not mistaken, bro, like the amount of ads, I feel like at this point they just want to make a game that can appeal to investors so that they can make more money to use on what God knows who. Definitely not the servers at this point. And yeah, it's just it's so they can appeal to investors at this point. Because I mean, we've been begging for affiliations to come back the way they were in 2K17 and 16, you know, and 15 or whatever. Basically, we've been asking for affiliations to come back just like they were in the older 2Ks, and it took about 3 or 4 years for that to come back. They kind of teased it in 2K20 in the worst way by giving you a banner that says Sunset Beach Ballers or whatever, saying, you know, people was kind of speculating. I remember when 20 was coming up, they were like, oh, affiliations are gonna come back and it's gonna be huge or whatever, and they didn't. And it was the same park. You know, as much as I love 20, and I played a lot of 20, I think about 2,000 hours of 2K20, just ignorance to the community, bro. I mean, we've been asking for this, and it's like it's not like how do I explain this, bro? When I say that it's ignorance to the community, Think about everybody on Twitter that has been complaining about shooting, saying how it's hard here, and like one day you're shooting great and then the next you're shooting horrible, you know. And I'm willing to believe a person who has already spent about 1,000 hours on 24 already. I'm willing to believe that person when they say the shooting is this and the shooting is that and the shooting is kind of broken. For Mike Wang and any other developer to get on the game, I get it, they made the game, you know, but for them to come up on Twitter or any other social media platform and say, hey, look, you're wrong. You know, if you're shooting bad, you just suck, and that's it. It's like, to me, if I was the pro, if I was the person complaining and I'm the one that's played this game for 1,000 hours, I feel like, you know, I just got slapped in the face, because it's like, I played this game for so long. Now I get it, they made the game, they control the mechanics in the game, but I don't know if they play the game. They definitely don't play it as much as the pros do. They definitely do not. I know for a fact they don't play the game as much as they do. And it's like, I don't know, bro. At this point, the future of 2K, it's looking real bleak to me, bro. People will still be playing it, but it just won't be the same. You know, one or two things can happen at this point. It's either NBA 2K by 2K25 or even 26. The game would be great. I mean, it'll feel just like the older ones, or feel even better than the older ones. And I don't know how they're gonna pull that off. But, you know, they might do something with the systems, and it might feel just fun to play. Like, I get it, everybody's trying to be competitive and all that, but like, if the game ain't fun, ain't nobody gonna watch I don't care how great you are at a video game. If the game isn't fun for the other people that are watching you play it, if it's just not fun to play, bro, ain't nobody gonna watch it. Ain't nobody gonna take the time to do that. So it's like, either 2K can become this fun game where they actually listen to a lot of the people. I'm not saying to, you know, drop everything, put your ears to the screens and you know, cry out for direction from the community. I'm not saying to just blindly listen to everything that everybody is saying, but take into consideration a lot of the larger YouTubers and people that have been around the community for a lot of years. Yes, there's a lot of people that just want the game to change for their own benefit, but there's also a lot of people like me where it's like, the community doesn't like this. A lot of people don't really like this, so why? Like, when they originally took out affiliation, they took out the affiliations, it was like, it's kind of weird, but I mean, okay. But now seeing what affiliations were and people wanted that back, and they just chose to kind of ignore us for all those years, it's like, it's kind of weird. It's what the community wants. I don't see why it's so difficult. I mean, I do, because they're releasing games yearly, and I'll get to that point in a minute. But it's either they listen to the consumer, or they just keep going down this path where they keep making investor friendly games, where eventually we'll get to the point where we'll have these different parks and maybe the 2 affiliations or whatever, and the entire affiliation will just be filled to the brim with billboards, sponsored by Kia, sponsored by NBA, or whoever would choose to pay to put their thing in there, bro. It'll just be billboards galore. NBA 2K25 or 26, the year of the billboard. It's either gonna be that, or, you know, they really take into account the type of mechanics. I mean, I like that they made the move to bring a lot of YouTubers in, you know, but the idea of the logo and the fact that people need to basically kiss the shoes of a developer to keep that thing is ridiculous to me, bro. I get it, next makers, you know, it's like they making the game great and all that, and I get it, and that's huge that they're allowing, you know, your average YouTuber, your average 2K YouTuber to be able to sit down and talk with the devs on how they can make the game better. But being yes men in the community isn't helping anybody, you know. It makes for a worse game, you know. Like, if I'm in there, I ain't saying that I want to be a next maker or anything like that. If I was, though, this is sounding so cheesy already, but like, if I was a next maker, bro, and things was going the way they was in the game, and I played this game for thousands of hours, I would be saying something about it. Now, I'm not. I don't nearly have enough of a following to be a next maker or anything like that. But the point is, like, for the people that's up there already, I'm not going to say any names, because I'm not finna do that here. I'm not finna have anything misconstrued. But for the people that are in the position, maybe they have, maybe they haven't. I don't use Twitter. I watch YouTube. Whatever people are reporting on YouTube, okay, that's what they did on Twitter. I don't bother using, I'm sorry, X. I don't bother using that, you know. But for whoever, you know, has an insight with the 2K devs and they see this is going on, and then it's like, oh, new don't be sure to get your new clothes and buy some boost and get ready for the new Halloween event coming up October. It's like, it's frustrating to say the least. It's extremely frustrating to me. That's how I feel at the current moment. Now, to touch on the yearly releases thing, 2K is involved, and when I'm saying 2K, I don't mean just NBA 2. I mean like 2K, like as a company, is involved in this upcoming strike that's gonna happen against a whole bunch. It's like Activision, all that is involved. It's an upcoming strike that's gonna happen, and people have been kind of speculating that 2K is gonna be hit, or not 2K is gonna be hit. 2K is gonna be delayed. NBA 2K is gonna be delayed or whatever. I am praying and hoping it is, because a delayed game 80% of the time could turn into a way better, way polished game. Even I hope and pray. Now I'm not hoping for any layoffs or anything like that, but like, man, it just seems like for the past couple of years with 2K, they just been worried about hitting their monthly quota and that's it, or their yearly quota. My fault. It's just like, I don't want another repeat, because either one or two things can happen with that too, right? Either it gets delayed and we get a great 2K out of the delay, like they come back and they got more workers and everybody's getting paid what they want and they don't got to meet the same yearly quotas as last time or whatever, and they can really sit down and polish the game and release a game that doesn't need to be patched 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 times after release. If they can really sit down and just polish the game and release a really good basketball game at its core, even if the content isn't there, at its core, if the core functions of the game work at the bare minimum, please, if that stuff can work, then cool. If that's what the delay will do, then cool. Either that happens, or the next 2K, we'll have another 2K21, bro. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants another 2K21. It's either that or 2K21 over again. And for those who haven't played it or don't know, the devs released 3 patches out of all of 2K21. If you played 2K before, you know that every 2K has had at least 20 or 30 patches, bro, at the least. It's probably no exaggeration, but they've had a lot more than 10, maybe a lot more than 15, but 21 only had 3 patches. I dodged a bullet. I did not pay for that game, didn't play it at all. They only had 3 patches. People was losing their players. Next gen was boring. It was dead. Current gen had the speed glitch. It was a nightmare. It was really bad, especially day one. Nobody could shoot, and then they had the Zens, and because the developers weren't around, and I like to blame the global situation. I can't say certain words, but I like to blame the global situation that was going on for the reason why that was happening. But man, once the Zens hit, it was really game over. It was either you play current gen and 90% of the community is cheating, or you go over and play next gen, you spend all this money on a 6-7 power forward with busted badges because that's the only build you can use. There's no defense in that game. It's the most arcadey off. If you're on offense, you're having a great time. But if the minute you get on defense, you want to uninstall the game. And then every time you get on, you're threatened with losing your player. And if you think, I could just call 2K support and get it back, 2K support was not helping anybody. There was no support. If you lost that player, you just lost $100 or however much you spent on that build. I don't know. You lost whatever. Time, money, it's gone. Whatever was there is gone. Not to mention that grind took so long for a lot of people, bro. It was their first time adding affiliations back into the game, or I wouldn't even call those affiliations, just stickers on the ground, bro. The different areas. It was the attempt that add the affiliations back into the game, but they went radio silent. And like I said, I blame the global situation, bro. But I don't want another one of those games from the strike. So if the strike happens, I am hoping and praying that we get a better 2K out of it. The workers kind of get what they want. Because at the end of the day, it's really the what they be calling them, man, the big suits, the higher ups at this point. Because they got to hit these yearly quotas. And I guess I kind of feel for that they got to make money. But I always wonder where that's going. They're never going to share that information. But I'm always wondering where that money is going. Because, it's $1 billion company, bro. $1 billion company. We're still, we plan on servers that I feel like haven't been upgraded since 2012. If you're not lagging out, you're delayed by 3 seconds. That shouldn't be the case, bro. It's a $1 billion company. We've been playing 2K online in a park setting for over 10 years, an entire decade, and we are still dealing with step 1, shooting's bad. Step 2, latency. Like we still dealing with like simple stuff. To me, it's simple. I don't code or do any of that, so I don't know how simple this stuff actually is. But I mean, they fixed the latency once before, but now it's like it's up and down. It's definitely way better than it was before. I mean, the game for me was kind of unplayable. I still played it, but man, to make a new jump shot, no. Like I was sticking whatever jump shot I had to stick with that. I wasn't trying to make no new builds, no new shots during that. But once they fixed the latency, oh man, I was I was living a dream. People was talking about they were shooting terrible. I was shooting like 60, 70%. I was living a dream. I was great. But yeah, I get it. You know, they're trying to hit, you know, yearly quotas. But yeah, billion dollar company, bro. Multi-billion. Terrible servers. It's just, I don't know, bro. If they don't figure this out and stuff like this happens in the next game that comes out, I know I'm speaking really early about this, but I'd rather speak early about it than, you know, it'd be too late to speak about it. If this doesn't get fixed, or it's like we keep going down this same hole, because I mean every game had its issues, but for the past 3 years since 2K22, paint defense in 22 was a huge thing. Also the side to side stuff, and the fact that you could put a hand in somebody's face, a play shot's face, and they could hit whatever shot. You know, it was like you really couldn't contest them if they had a certain jump shot on. And then just hitting whites, bro. I love the fact that you could shoot with low 3-pointers, but man, if you got a 80 plus, you gonna hit whites consistently, especially with real player percentage. So it was that, and then we go to 23 with the multiple different shot timings and the terrible paint defense again. Now, if you was taking layups, paint defense there was definitely a fix there. Like, yeah, paint defense felt a lot better in 23, but if somebody went up for any dunk, literally any dunk, they were making it. It was game over. It could be a park dunk. It could be a terrible 360 cock back Jordan Sutherland. It didn't matter. The ball could be literally exposed and you could swipe at the ball and it felt like your hand was going through it. So I mean, it's been multiple years that we kind of dealing with these issues where it's like, I should be doing this. I get why some of this stuff is not working, because they want to appeal to the larger part of the player base that is, you know, pretty much new to the game, and they don't want to make the game too hard. But now it's like, man, they've made the game not exactly hard to play, but with all the server issues, you can't have a green or miss game this year in 2K24. You cannot have a green or, in my opinion, you cannot have a green or miss game with latency issues like these, bro. It literally makes the game unplayable, because it's punishing me when I know the release timing of my jump shot and I release it a certain way, but because the servers are so terrible that the game is chopping or skipping, godly, I peaked right there, that the game is chopping or skipping or whatever, the game's internet or whatever, the servers are so terrible to the point where I can't make the shot, but I'm timing it at the correct time. It's frustrating to play. You know, I get on 2K to kind of I play real, you know, I play basketball in real life or whatever, but it's like I get on 2K to play with friends, to kind of just, you know, play a basketball video game. It's a good basketball video game, don't get me wrong. Like, I talk so much stuff about 2K, but I've liked playing 2K for these last couple of years. I only play games I like. I truly like playing 2K23. I liked playing 2K22, and I like playing 24 right now. But when I don't like something, I'm not even gonna buy it. 21, I didn't like it. Didn't buy it. I had the chance to play it when a friend had it. I just didn't get it. I was like, this ain't it. Didn't want it. 2K18, didn't really want that neither. It was just boring after a while. I use my resources. I don't like to call my friends resources. That's crazy. But, you know, when my friends get it or whatever, I play it and I kind of judge. 18's dribbling was nice. Like, don't get me wrong. 18, the scenery was bleak to me, bro. The scenery was extremely bleak, and the game just was kind of boring after a while. And then Fortnite came out too, so it was like everybody switched over to Fortnite, including me. I had an addiction to that game, so it was like, you know, Fortnite coming out didn't really help 18, but I mean, it was kind of boring. But The dribbling was really nice. The snatchback was ridiculous. But yeah, the dribbling was really nice in that game. I kind of went on a rant right there. Yeah, I mean, all I wanted to talk about, this is a different video for me. I don't, usually I'm playing the game or whatever, but I'm probably more than likely have some gameplay in the background. But I just wanted to talk about the future of 2K. You got a lot of heavy hitters coming out, and then GTA 6 is gonna drop, aka Investment 6. Like, people are gonna, if I'm telling you. And then, not to mention GTA and them, they partner with 5M, so they gonna probably have some role play stuff in there too. Not a lot of people watch 2K on Twitch right now. If they don't do something crazy to get people wanting to get back on 2K, and I mean like the people that have quit 2K, if you don't have something to bring those people back, bro, I'm not saying, make a 2K like the old ones, because people are always gonna say, oh, make it like the old ones, and then it's like people are gonna get bored and say, oh, they're just making another 2K that's just like 2K16 or 17. You want something new. Like, it's extremely hard to please a lot of people, and most people are like that. I'm guilty of that in some instances, but like, if they don't make something, just make something fun, bro. Make something that works. It just makes something fun to play. I shouldn't have to get on this game and it feel like a 9 to 5, bro. It shouldn't feel like that. It never does, but for a lot of people it does, bro. Especially people that like play the game for a living, like YouTube. Some YouTubers that are just kind of stuck in this genre and are afraid to switch. People will be more, and that's another thing, right? For the people who are afraid to switch or whatever, a lot of the YouTubers that's really good at 2K that are afraid to switch, people will be more inclined to switch over once a game like GTA 6 comes out, because there will always be an audience for games like that. There's going to be a huge audience, a worldwide audience for GTA 6. I'm going to be playing GTA 6 when it comes out. I'm pre-ordering the game. If it's bad, then it's bad. But I know that on the audience side of things, I'll be able to grow my community playing that game. I'll be able to grow my channel. I'll be able to do all of that. I'll definitely profit in some way off of playing that game. With 2K, it's like, it's kind of stale. I mean, if you're making a build video, yeah, you're gonna get views off a build video and jump shot video, because people are looking for those things right now. The game just came out. But once everybody settles in and the patches stop coming and it gets real boring, people are going to be more inclined to leave. 2K kind of gets boring. I'm not even going to lie to you. It gets boring around March and April. When GTA 6 drops, if they don't have some crazy stuff, crazy rep rewards, it's going to take a lot of the die-hard fans, the tryhards, ante-up players, pro-am players. It might. I can't say for certainty, because we never know these things. You never know. But I'll say what I do know is that it will definitely leave a dent in 2K. It'll leave a dent in a lot of games, but 2K will feel it the most, in my opinion, because the community, at least the people that are really good at the game, play the game a lot, the community of those players is kind of dwindling, bro. And times are changing too. Franchise fatigue is a thing. I'm kind of experiencing it right now. I'm not really playing 2K as much as I used to. Kind of fatigued at it, But yeah, that's all this video was, Yeah, it's either 2K kind of appeals more to the consumer, or it becomes a billboard fest, and they'll always make money. There'll always be somebody playing the game, because I mean, it's NBA 2K, it's a basketball game. There's tons of basketball fans all over the world that would love to play a basketball game, so it's always gonna be there. But yeah, that was it. Hope you have a great rest of your day. If you listen to this whole video, this little rant that I got, subscribe, like the video, and then tell me in the comments what you think is gonna happen to 2K, or if I've just been yapping this entire time and I don't know what I'm talking about. Please feel free to tell me that. But yeah, I enjoyed it, making this video and kind of getting this off my chest. Yeah, see you.